Good morning, you guys. Day number 70 of my stay batical to 50. If you're brand new to this, it's a 100-day journey I've been on. Just 30 more days left. Trying to see what physical changes, mindset changes, and all the rest that happened during this journey. So many of you have followed along, and I've really appreciated having you here on my daily walk. So when I get out in the mornings, I do this thing called walk and talk, and a lot of you have enjoyed these, either watching them live, like everyone coming in right now, or if you watch it on the replay. I do post it everywhere on replay. It's on Instagram video, it's on YouTube, it's on Facebook. Just get in the hashtag StayBatical to50. You will find all the videos, but I really appreciate having my live viewers while we're out here on a walk. So thank you for being here today. Thank you for all the encouragement. I get lots of comments after the walk and talk. People comment on the video, or they'll send me a direct message and they say, wow, that's exactly what I needed to hear today. So mission accomplished. I love it that I can be an encouragement to you guys. But so I'm still on the journey, day 70, and trucking along. I got 30 more days until the end of this bad boy. And at the very beginning, I never thought day 100 would ever get here because it seemed so far away. And now that I'm within 1 month of it being over, I can taste it, I can see it. So still going well. There are days where the day gets away from me and I'm not quite able to get everything on the list done, but I'm doing almost all the biohacks every single day. Definitely prioritizing this walk in the mornings because I do like to come on here and talk to you guys. Thank you, Del Norte. Just bought a badge, and if you're watching this live on Instagram, there's a little badge thing down there if you want to help support this work that I do. I try to be an encouragement to you guys. Even in the midst of working on me, I like to uplift and encourage you. How cool would the world be if we all took on that mentality of what can I do today to lift other people up? It's always been kind of something that I don't even think about. I just do it. Encouraging other people, helping other people, lifting them up any way that I can. We should all strive to do that. But that's not what I'm talking about here today. That would be a great topic to talk about one of these mornings. But today's topic is about what's holding you back from the success you so desire. And I'll tell you where this came out of. I'm talking to a girl. Yes, Jimmy's talking to a girl. And she said, I did that keto thing for a little while, had some good results with it, but then I just couldn't keep up with it. And of course, I'm courting this girl. I'm going to inquire. And even the curiousness of being the keto guy. I said, so what was wrong? What kept you from staying on it, especially in light of you having success with it? Well, at some point it was just too much and I had to have sugar again. I'm like, okay, that's called addiction. And that's completely natural to have those. I said, have you thought about, since you like sweet, have you thought about maybe transitioning to, some stevia sweetened like desserts or things like that? And she said, I don't like stevia. Okay, fair enough. You got the wrong kind. If you don't like it, you got the wrong version of it, because there are better tasting blends. I told her about Swerve. I told her about some of the alternatives that are a mix of some sweeteners. And she said, well, plus I have people in my life and they want to eat crap, and so I can't not eat it when I'm out. I'm like, why? Why do you need to acquiesce your health goals to someone else and what they want? Why don't they acquiesce to your health goals? Or how about this for a revolutionary concept? How about nobody acquiesce to nobody else and you do what's best for you? And so it was kind of an interesting conversation that led me down this topic we're talking about here today. What's holding you back from success? Sometimes you just don't want to succeed. Okay, I know you don't want to hear that. People are like, of course I want to succeed. I wouldn't try something if I didn't actually want to succeed. But think about it. Think it through. If you truly wanted to succeed, wouldn't you do anything you can to set yourself up for that success? Wouldn't you remove all the excuses that say, no, you're not going to be able to do this. I don't even know why you're trying. That's what our brains tell us, as I've talked about many times on this walk and talk. But people do. They think the excuses that they come up with are their reason for holding back. And it's crazy to me. And so talking to this girl, and yes, I like her. I'm trying to develop a friendship with her and see where it goes. But I was like, you need somebody in your life who can help be your accountability partner. Somebody who can maybe make some keto meals for you. Maybe make some sweet treats since you got the sweet bug. She's like, yeah, if you know anybody like that, well, I happen to know somebody. But it brought up this bigger picture question for me of, we make up these excuses, don't we? We come up with these reasons for why we're being held back from success. And I gotta ask you, do you do that? Do you feel like you have tried yourself to failure? I really hate it when I share something with someone and I ask the question, can you do that? And then they respond, I'll try. No, don't I'll try me. I'll try means, yeah, F off. I don't give a crap what you think. Get out of my face. That's what I'll try means. I know it is couched in such virtuous messaging, I'll try, to make you think you're actually going to do something. It's kind of like when somebody, if you're a Christian, gives you a prayer request and tells about a need, and you say, I'll pray about it, but then you never do. Same thing. And so, what do you think about this? Do you find that there are things holding you back from the success you want? And when you dig deeper into that, if you dig deeper, what is it? Is it lack of belief in yourself? Is it discouragement from the outside? Is it the temptations of life are too overwhelming? What are those things that hold you back? And I'm not even talking about just a health journey. Obviously, it applies there. But look across the board in your life. When you're wanting something and you desire something to happen in your life and it's not quite happening, who do you blame? How do you explain it? How are you holding yourself back possibly? Or if it's not you and you think it's something else, what is? What is holding you back? I think we are all destined to be successful at something. And it's a matter of tapping into whatever it is that you want and desire. And you have to constantly evaluate that as well. Are the wants and desires of your heart truly something you're passionate about? I mean, it burns white hot within you. There is nothing going to stand in your way of accomplishing this thing. Is that the way you look at life? Or do you allow just life to come to you and what happens, happens? I will tell you, the most successful people that I know in life are all people who took the initiative. Let nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, hold them back. And I can tell you many examples from my own life, but even in my book writing career, I have had some really major success writing books, and that didn't happen by accident. Everybody's like, well, you got lucky. You figured out keto was going to be a trend before everybody. Okay, was that luck? Or was that me saying, okay, yes, it's not popular when I first started talking about it, but that didn't hold me back. Paleo was all the rage when I first started talking about keto. Paleo was the huge, it seemed like a juggernaut that would last forever. Back in 2012, when I was talking pretty extensively about ketogenic diets, and everybody was kind of mocking me, oh, keto, that's just a fad. Nobody's going to really care about that. In fact, my publisher, when they came to me, they were like, we like your platform. Can you write books for us? What do you want to write about? And so I told them ketogenic diets. This was 2012. And they even laughed it off. They were like, yeah, no, that's not going to be anything. What else you got? And I'm just like, ugh. I could have let that hold me back. I could have said, no, I know keto is a big thing. I want to get it out there. So I had to delay my gratification on that and do other things. And maybe that's a strategy here too. If you feel like you're being held back of what you really want to do something. Get the ball moving. So what that meant for me in this scenario was I wrote Cholesterol Clarity and put it out there in 2013. And it did pretty well. And I went back to them. I said, can I please write the keto book? They're like, okay, write it now. You still don't think it's going to do great, but you've already proven you're a good writer. So I write Keto Clarity. And now it's arguably the thing I'm most famous for, is writing Keto Clarity. I didn't let anything hold me back. I didn't let no hold me back. I changed their no to not now. Because not now doesn't mean never. No means never. No means it's not going to happen. No is slamming that door shut, nailing it. No is no. But when you hear no, and in your mind you interpret it as not yet, it means not right this moment, but it's going to happen. And especially if it's something that's a deep desire within you, in your heart. Nothing's going to hold you back, you guys. Absolutely nothing. So if you're just joining us, we are on day number 70 today. 30 more days to the end of this 100-day journey. And it's been quite the ride. Those of you that have been following along on this daily walk that I do in the mornings, you know the ups, downs, and in-betweens. I will give you an update on the blisters on my toe. Both toes. Both of my big toes have had big old blisters. And they're still there. At this point, there's so much hard skin around them. I don't think there's pus on the inside anymore, but it's definitely noticeable on my big toes. And so I decided to take some Band-Aids, put them over them, and then over the top of that, wrap some black kinesiology tape around that. And today, so far, so good. I've had no pain walking. All I feel is the pressure. When I'm walking, I can feel pressure, but there's no pain. So that is a very, very good sign. And I'm pleased with that. So, but what do you think about this? What is holding you back from success? And be honest. You know those things that you're doing or not doing that hold you back. Good morning. Hi, guys. So, share. And look, I think what's the magic of this walk and talk is we're all friends here. You can be honest about how you feel, about what you think. So share away. I want to hear your honest thoughts. When you're on a journey, when you're going through life and things aren't quite going the way you want them to, what do you think is holding you back? What do you think is that missing element between you and somebody who is successful? Successful people have certain parts of their DNA that refuse to let them fail. Are they different than you? Are they better than you? Are they more talented than you? What do they have that you don't? What are those qualities of the people that get out there and make success happen? I would argue is they don't let anything hold them back. Even if they fall flat on their face, I think the fear of failure is one of the great paralyzers of most people. When you fear that you try something and it's not going to work, they fear that's the worst thing that could possibly happen. It is not, by the way. It is not even close to being true. Failure to me is not the end game. Failure is a step in the process. Failure just means, okay, not this and or not now, but it doesn't mean not ever. Good morning. And so I want to hear from you. What gets you going on this topic? What is holding you back? You guys are being real quiet on me today, so please interact. I need you right now, guys. Otherwise, it's going to be a very short video, and I don't think you want that. I don't want that. I still haven't even reached the halfway point, but I think it's a great topic, especially in light of a journey. And many of you joined me on day 51 of this journey with your own journey. Let me know how that's been going. And no shame here. If you haven't quite seen the results or the consistency that you're wanting, what's holding you back? Let's talk about it. I feel like this is the point in any person's journey where it makes or breaks it. If you feel like you're being held back by things, verbalize them. Let's talk them out. Because otherwise, if you don't feel like you're being held back, you should be succeeding. You should be pursuing. You should be doing all the things. But if you are feeling like you're being held back, get that out. Let's talk it out. You never know what revelations may come out of this discussion. So please, talk. Let's hear you. I'm going to scroll back to the top now, you guys. Welcome. Again, day number 70 of my Stay Batical to 50. I will remind you, I go live on Instagram in the mornings as the sun is coming up here in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Currently 7:24 in the morning. And you can join me over on Instagram if you're watching this on the replay at Livin' Low Carb Man, LIVINLOWCARBMAN. You can also check out all the videos using the hashtag Stay Batical to 50 on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And then finally over at my website, livinlavitalow-carb.com/staybatical. Got them all listed right there for you. So go check it out and come and engage in the content. Again, today we're talking about what's holding you back from success. So let's get to your comments today. E.C. Lundquist, nice to see you this morning. Keep it up. We love it. Thank you for being one of my cheerleaders. EC, you left a comment on my video, I think yesterday or the day before, and there was an ugly comment that came in right next to yours, and I was trying to delete the ugly comment, and I think I accidentally deleted your comment, so just thought I'd let you know that. I saw your very kind comment, and my big thumb swiped it away. Sorry about that, but thank you for the comments, and anyone that wants to comment on these videos, love hearing from you on the replay too. So thank you for being here. Hello, Goose Designs. Sharon says, number 70, awesome. Pretty gratifying. Like I said, I'm in the home stretch of this now. By the way, because my toes aren't hurting today with the blisters that I've covered up pretty well, I'm able to be walking really fast today. So I've got a really good pace. We're gonna see how far I get down this track to get to the halfway point. Linda says, good morning, day 70. Wow, doesn't seem possible. Yeah, when I was talking to my friend Brittany, who was doing 75 hard at the time when I started my journey, she was like, 75 is a bitch, Jimmy. How are you going to do 100? So I'm like, I want to do it. I want to prove to myself that I'm capable. And I knew I was. It wasn't like I doubted that. But I've certainly had a lot more obstacles on this than I ever imagined. Never imagined all the obstacles that would be thrown in my way. But the fun thing about obstacles is you don't let them hold you back. You don't let them be the excuse for giving up. Obstacles, here's the way to look at it, guys. When you're on a journey and you run into obstacles, that is your way of testing how serious you are about the journey you're on, how strong you are about accomplishing that task, and how resilient you are from letting that not be an issue for you. And to me, that's a lot more valuable than it being a smooth ride. If it's a smooth ride, that's what's expected. I don't want what's expected. I want better. I want what I'm doing to give me lessons well beyond the challenge time. So, yes, this is a 100-day journey, but what's going to happen day 101? I want that momentum to keep going. And all these lessons I have learned along this 100 days, they're teaching me how to be when it hits day 101. And 2022, when I'm not in a challenge per se, but I'm still doing all the things. That's the goal. That's what's going to get me to refuse being held back by anything. Because by golly, I want success. And I am successful. The fact that I'm putting one foot in front of the other every day, both literally and figuratively, means I am a success already. I hate this predicating success until you see success, whatever. Good morning. No, you're a success. If you're in the game, you're successful. Now, successful doesn't mean you sit back on your laurels. No, you still do all the things. But you right now, wherever you are on a journey, if you're on a journey and you're doing the things, you are a success. And it's really hard to be held back when you already view yourself as a success. Hope that encourages somebody today. Holly says the toe wraps do help with blisters. Yes, I did just the kinesiology tape yesterday, and that did not do it. So today I put a Band-Aid over the blister area and then the kinesiology tape over that. And yeah, I'm not feeling any pain from those today. I really need those to heal up. And then I tried to go buy wool socks yesterday, by the way. I went to the shoe Carnivore store. I said, dude, help me out. I need some wool socks. He's like, I don't know if we sell wool socks. He's like, I got 100% cotton. I was like, yeah, that's what I use. That ain't helping. I told him about the blisters. He's like, well, I got a polyester blend here. No, that ain't gonna work either. So I was like, you know where I can get wool socks? He's like, no, actually I don't. So I may have to go online and order some. It is what it is. It is what it is. Go Jimmy, go, go, go. Oh, I love it. You gave me a steak and bacon, cheese, and I think that's salt. Bulletproof coconut. Thank you for that. Maybe it's milk. I can't see. The emoji is so small. Mark says, good work, Jimmy. Thank you for that, brother. Appreciate you being here. Failure to truly commit and believe, says Del Norte. That's what holds you back from success. Yes. Look, if it's important to you, you will prioritize it, you will commit, and you will go all in. And I'm even thinking about relationships as well. Look, if you don't commit to that person to be all that you can be for them, how do you expect that to be successful? A little Poochie dog yelling at me over here. So, yeah, I hear you. Dogs. If you don't commit yourself fully to whatever it is that you're wanting, how do you expect to get it? Why? Why would you ever expect that would be something that would just happen? And yet people do that every single day. They don't commit. They don't pour themselves into it. And then they scratch their heads. Why isn't this happening for me? Why aren't I seeing the success that I want? So I love that, Del Norte. Failure to truly commit and believe. Look, if you have a passion in your heart for something, ain't nothing gonna stand in your way. There are no excuses. There's no holding you back. You will succeed. You will find that way. Don't believe me? Try it, guys. Test it. Test it for yourself. Bulletproof coconut. Some people, as I have been, are held back because we want the instant pleasure instead of the long-term reward. Ooh. This is something I talk to people a lot about, and thank you for that, Bulletproof Coconut. You're right. People are always discouraged because they only see things in the here and now. And I always try to give them the long view. All right. Let's take this girl I'm courting right now. She said, well, I like sweet. I like sugary things. That's why I couldn't stay on keto. Okay, fair enough. So you get this sweet taste on the tongue. And when you're done with that, how do you feel? Well, I'm happy in the moment. But then I want more. And I'm like, I know. Because that's what sweet does. That's what sugar does. It satisfies you in the moment, in the here and now. But it doesn't do you great service down the road. How about if we shift that to, okay, you're not really looking for sweet. You're looking for a dopamine hit. You're looking for oxytocin. Are there other ways to get those things without the sugary hit, which down the road will eventually catch up to you? Blood sugar dysregulation, insulin spikes, inflammation, all the rest that you guys know all about what sugar does. And when you kind of look at it through that prism, it gives you perspective, doesn't it? When you look at the long view, when you realize, and the funny part is, people give lip service to the long view while still craving and cuddling and holding on to the short term. They say they want the long-term reward. They know they can get the long-term reward, but something in their brain supersedes that and says, nope. Yes, I know that we have the benefits with the long game, but nope, I would rather have the guilty pleasure in the here and now, not realizing you're sacrificing the later long-term reward. Happens all the time. And I'm just like, people, what is your priority? I think it's related a little bit to FOMO, fear of missing out. People think, hey, I may not be here tomorrow, so let me eat, drink, and be merry today because I'm not promised tomorrow. And they feel like if they don't get to enjoy the fun in life, as if carbs or whatever are fun, that they won't feel fulfilled at the end of their life. I suppose I can conceptualize that. But to me, fun is making sure your body is in good shape, because you don't know when you're going to go. You don't know if you're going to live to 55 or 95? So why don't you live as if you're going to live to 95 and take care of this vessel you have? I'm not an in-the-moment kind of guy. I'm always thinking like way ahead in my head. That's just the way I think. Now, I live in the present. I stay cognizant of the present, but I don't let the present dictate my day-to-day feelings about things going on in my life. I'm always forward thinking. I'm always, all right, down the road, what's the scenario coming? How have I prepared myself for that? That's just me. I know most people don't think like that, but that's how I think. And I think it serves me well in my life. Always thinking ahead, thinking forward. Miss Hockey says, hi Jimmy, my favorite socks are made by Bombas. I believe they have wool. Awesome. Thank you for the tip, Miss Hockey. So far so good on this makeshift blister prevention plan today, because other than a little pressure on the right one, I'm not feeling pain. I'm at my turnaround point. I'm not feeling pain in the toes today. So that is really good. Very pleased with that. But thanks, I will look those up. Nutrition Mindset Movement says, I've realized health is always a priority. And look, I hate that people wait until something happens in their health before they make health a priority. But look, if it's off your radar screen because you're not unhealthy, if it's off the radar screen, why do you care about it? You're not unhealthy. And I get that argument a lot. I've never had anything wrong. And I'm like, don't you want to keep it that way? Don't you want to allow yourself to keep on having that good health? Yeah, maybe in your younger years, you were able to have health without really thinking about it. That doesn't mean it's going to be that way forever. Eventually, your lifestyle decisions are going to catch up to you. I used to hate that when people would brag about, oh, I don't need to watch what I eat because I'm pretty healthy. I'm not obese. I'm not this. I'm not that. And of course, they're not always testing all the parameters of underlying metabolic issues, insulin resistance, and things like that. People just look at, am I fat or am I not fat? And especially those people who are naturally thin. Oh, I'm naturally thin, so I'm healthy. Not necessarily. Thinness does not mean healthfulness. And in a lot of ways, I'm glad that I still deal with a belly, because I have a visual reminder that I can pursue even more health. If I was thin, but then oblivious to the inflammation in my body, oblivious to high insulin levels, so forth and so on, I would miss it, and I would probably succumb to that. And I'll tell you a story. When I first came on the scene back in 2005, I was approached by a low-carb store owner in Wisconsin. And he was a very nice guy. He's like, hey, I love what you're doing on your blog. He's like, when you get your book out, we'd love to have you for your very first book signing, which that's what I did. They flew me in, had a book signing right there in his store. And so Michael was his name, and very tall, very thin guy. And I said, why do you eat low carb? Well, I've got blood sugar issues, and so I eat low carb to help manage that. Okay, cool. I said, do you have type 2 diabetes? He said, yeah. All right. So very thin, very tall. And I remember he took me out to Denny's for breakfast. And we ordered our food. I had bacon or sausage and eggs and, just all low carb stuff. Maybe tomato slices. He ordered about the same thing, but then one biscuit. So I said, what's the biscuit about? Just curious. He said, well, I know low carb will help you lose weight, and I don't need to lose weight because he was very thin. And so he has the biscuit to prevent the weight loss. And I always thought that was strange. I'm like, your body is not stupid. If you don't need to lose weight, you won't lose weight. But he was convinced of that. Well, what was he doing? He was exasperating the type 2 diabetes. And 4 years later, he died in his 40s. There was a man, naturally thin, but he had great metabolic damage inside. And it was eating him up. And for those of you still carrying weight around, let me give you some encouragement today. Be happy, and you're hearing me right. Be happy you still have weight on the body, because that weight is protecting you from calamity, from chronic disease. I know you don't like it. Trust me, I don't like it on my body either. But you have to look at it in that way. That fat on your body is protecting you, and it is. Doesn't mean it's great on your body, don't get me wrong. But if you have weight on the body and you're trying to prevent metabolic disease from progressing, that's going to help you versus Michael, who had no weight on the body, super thin, has a type 2 diabetic, incredible metabolic damage, but he had no weight, no fat to protect him. And he was a sitting duck. And then he had a heart attack and died in his 40s. So there's a lesson there if we stop and think about it. Mark says, you always want more sugar. Yes, this girl, she was just like, I want something sweet. And then she eats it once more. I'm like, yeah, duh. And she appreciates that I'm not really chiding her about it, but I'm giving her things to think about. And if we end up together, obviously I could cook and make sure she stays on the straight and narrow with it. Part of the issue, she said, is it's hard to cook for one. I'm like, I cook for one all the time. That's not an excuse for eating carbs. You cook for one, that's it. No big deal. Don't make it hard. But she was making it hard. Sandra answers the question, what's holding you back from success? Unwilling to give myself the recognition that I deserve. Downplaying the accomplishments. That is so good, Sandra. And that does hold you back. It's why you hear me all the time on these walk and talks talking about celebrating the progress you're on. And if nothing else, celebrate that you're on the journey. Be grateful that you're caring enough about your health that you're willing to do something about it. You're willing to put in the effort. Because I'm very proud that I'm out here every single day, literally walking the walk, doing this morning walk, and doing all the other things. Yes, be proud. I love it. That is so, so awesome. So guys, if you're just joining in, day number 70 of my stay sabbatical to 50. Still on the 100-day journey for 30 more days to get my body, my mind, and all the rest that I'm doing this for healed and stronger. And it's working, guys. I feel so good. Even while I'm still working on myself, I can say I feel good. I can say that things are going great, that I'm in good habits now. And nothing at all is holding me back from that success I want. And even in the midst of this, as was just stated, I'm recognizing the progress all along the way. and that I'm already a success just for getting out there and doing the thing. And so if you have comments on this topic today, please chime in. What's holding you back from success? Please feel free to be very vulnerable. Talk about those things that are holding you back. And as you guys mention these things, ask yourself, how are you going to let go of those things that are holding you back? How are you going to combat them? So let's go back to Sandra for a minute. What's holding her back is her unwillingness to give herself the recognition and downplaying the accomplishments. So Sandra, your goal now is to do the opposite, to give yourself that recognition. Make yourself do it. Celebrate. If you're weighing yourself, don't wait till the very end of the big goal. Celebrate a 5-pound increment. Celebrate a 10-pound increment, whatever. If you see your blood sugar get down, if that's a goal, celebrate that. And here's the inverse of that. If things aren't quite going well on any given day, don't dwell on it negatively. Not only do we not celebrate the accomplishments, we accentuate the things that aren't going well. You know it, especially those of you that still step on that stupid lying liar that lies scale. You accentuate the negative. You went up 1 pound and you make it seem like the world has come to an end. Why do we do that? And we don't celebrate equally in the opposite direction when things are going well. But let's hear from you. Bulletproof Coconut, a lot of people who think they've never had anything wrong actually do in fact struggle with mental, physical issues. They just don't see that being related to health and diet. That is so true. It's one of the great derelictions of duty of the mainstream allopathic medical care system. They have convinced people that health comes in a pill or in an injection or in a surgery. That's what people have been led to believe. And so if you believe health comes in a pill, an injection, or a surgery, you're going to think, okay, I need a pill, an injection, or a surgery. Never mind other things that are going on. It's one of the things that's driven me crazy about this whole craziness of the past 2 years. Not once have we heard, make your vessel stronger, make your system resilient. Get out there, walk every day, eat better, get sunshine, breathe fresh air. None of those things have even come out of the mouths of any of the leaders. And you have to ask yourself why. We know the things that need to be done, and yet they're not teaching people to do it. They're just like, be an obedient lemming, stand in line for the hokey pokey, and it's gross. There's so many ways that we could take care of ourselves in the midst of this that don't require you to take a pill, an injection, or a surgery. But no! Blasphemy! Censored on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Oh, by the way, speaking of censored, you guys are going to get a trip out of this because you guys watch me every day. The other day, I tried to turn on the monetization on one of my walk-in talks. And do you know it came back as observed by a human to contain hate speech and harassment. I was like, hate speech and harassment? What are they talking about? Have you guys ever heard me utter any hate speech or harassment of anyone on this? That tripped me out. And you can't appeal it. You can't ask for clarification about what part of the video contained the so-called hate speech and harassment. And bullying, I think, was the other one. Hate speech, harassment, and bullying. Out of my mouth? Whatever. Just thought that was interesting. Jimmy Moore's spreading hate speech. No, I'm not. Lady Lixel says a lot of us have been caregivers to others for a long time, that we forget that we need to take care of ourselves too. Difficult to switch the focus from them to me. Well, that is a thing, and there are a lot of people who neglect themselves in order to be there for someone else. But you're right. You gotta take care of you, because here's the thing. If somebody's relying on you to be their caretaker, but then you're not taking care of yourself, what happens when you go down? What happens when things aren't going well for you? You can't take care of them, so now both of you are hurting. So, yes, take care of them still, but put that focus on yourself. You deserve that attention too, Lady Lixel. Doodle says, good morning, you make my day. Thank you. I try to be a happy face, positive face in the mornings. I've been trying to make myself stay up later in order so I don't get up so early. So last night, I think I went to sleep, according to the Oura results, 9:30 when I got to sleep, and I was still up at 4 a.m. I'm like, I can't sleep in a little more, but it is what it is. I'm a morning person anyway, so. Bulletproof Coconut, very true to be happy about body fat. Imagine where we might be if we didn't have this protective mechanism. You're so right. People see body fat as this grotesque, horrible thing that must be removed at all costs. And I'm thinking, whoa. Slow your roll there, kiddo. You need to know why the body fat is there. It's not there willy-nilly. And isn't it ironic that where a lot of people get stored body fat is in their midsection, in their belly? You know why? Because all the organs are right there. And so the fat builds up around the organs. Again, too much of it can be detrimental. So I'm not saying fat on the body is a great thing, but I'm saying if you have fat on the body, that's your body doing what it's supposed to do. And that is protect you from inflammation and toxins and all the rest. It's why it's reticent to let go of that. Because if it's protecting you, especially if it's got toxins bound up in that fat and it's hiding it away, it's very resistant to letting go of that, because it knows those toxins are in there and it's trying to protect you. And that's the way you got to look at it. Hello. So, let's see. Watch Me Wasting Away says, cooking for one is fun because I can use fancier ingredients. Yes. I've cooked for one for most of the past 2.5 years. And there is definitely an art to it. But also I'm carnivore, so that helps. I can cook up some eggs cooked in butter with a little cheese on top, maybe some salt and some spices, and that's a meal. I can cook up hamburger patties. My favorite little meal that I like to make is this Carnivore Stroganoff that I make, which either has ground beef, grass-fed beef, or pork sausage. Cook it up in the pan, throw a little heavy cream in there, put some cream cheese and mozzarella cheese, and then stir it all together, salt and spices, and it's lovely. I love that meal. And when I'm done eating, if I still have food left over, I throw it to the chickens. So, good morning. So I love it. Doodles says, what's your biggest fear? I'm not really afraid of many things anymore. I've been through some stuff in my life, Doodles. I don't fear anything. I don't. And I know that sounds kind of cliche. I'm unafraid. But really, with the things I've been through in my life, from my childhood trauma to some things in my adulthood, I take things in stride. I don't really have fears. Because when you're fearful, you don't believe in yourself. When you're fearful, you're kind of acquiescing some of your strength. And I don't want to do that. And I refuse to do that. I am where I am because I've learned to let go of those fears. And what's funny about fears is a lot of them are unfounded. A lot of them aren't grounded on anything other than your mind playing tricks on you. Have a good day. So, I don't really fear, to be honest. I suppose some days when I'm in a really down mental state, I might fear being alone. But I know that's not true either. There will always be people in my life. So, nope, don't fear. Refuse to. Bulletproof Coconut. It must have been opposite day with the hate speech and bullying. Yes, exactly. Del Norte, that's crazy. Your message is to inspire others. Yeah. YouTube shocked me when they slapped that label. Like, okay, tell me I'm spreading, quote, misinformation, whatever that is. And I have had other videos claim that, but they never tell you what the, quote, misinformation is. And in this case, they didn't tell me what the hate speech was. I don't talk hateful about anybody. I'm about the most happy-go-lucky, loving guy you'll ever meet. But who knows? I have stopped trying to figure out social media and their intentions these days. It's definitely the wild, wild west out there right now. And at the end of the day, it's not a big deal that video wasn't monetized. Okay, I lost a few dollars. Woo. It is what it is. Mark says, how do you feel about Ted Naiman's plan? Eat carnivore for the first meal after a 16-8 fast, then have higher protein, low sugar fruit and carbs in the evening at the end of 8 hours eating window, and then do a short HIIT workout. Look, everybody has their little spiel. I remember when Paul Saladino came out with his eating honey and fruit thing recently. Look, if that's something you want to do, go for it. I think it's so silly. Anybody that would say a plan like that, and I love Ted, so don't get me wrong, but anybody that would say, and I'm not saying that he's done this, I'm talking about in general, people that do this, they'll throw a plan out there and then make it seem like it's for everyone. I'm sorry. There is no one plan or protocol that's going to work for everyone. We're all different. Maybe there's general principles, and I think we all basically, in the keto carnivore movement, we all basically agree refined carbohydrates, especially sugars and grains and starches, are probably not a great idea. But that said, some people are able to have a few more carbs. Some people are actually able to have real food-based carbs like the ones you described here. I am of the opinion that having a little extra protein probably isn't a bad idea at moments during your day. We've learned so much from the scientific literature about protein and how it makes the body go round, basically. And so, still want essential fats, still want the essential amino acids. I'm just not convinced personally for Jimmy that having carbohydrate is going to serve me well at this state in my life. Maybe down the road it will, but for me it's something I would say to anyone who's asking me about this, including you, Mark, test it. See how you do. If it's something that seems intriguing to you, test it. Put on a CGM or test your blood sugar. Test how you do with it. Test how you feel subjectively. That's the way I approach anything. When I was in the paleo world a decade ago, they were all about doing these resistant starches and safe starches and cook your potatoes, then cool it down. It makes that potato magically not mess with your blood sugar. So I tested it. And guess what happened to Jimmy's blood sugar? it went through the roof. And then I started writing about it, and they're like, well, you can't see that. We're trying to get people to eat resistant starch for their good health. Okay, but what about the reality of what happened to me? Well, you're not everybody. Okay, exactly. Since I'm not everybody, I'm showing you a counter argument to this thing that you're making axiomatic for everyone. Always test it. Don't rely on some blogger, some influencer, some podcaster to tell you what to do. Listen to what they say, try what they say, and if it doesn't work for you, you know that didn't apply to you. I don't know why that's hard. People make it hard. Miss Stacia says maybe your hate speech was you defending yourself against the bullies. That's true. I have had a few people come on here, but I still don't think I was ugly to them. Who knows? But it was one of the ones late last week, and I was like, what did I say? Anyway, I'm not worried about it. I just found it comical that YouTube has now identified me as a hate speech spreader. I'm a hate speech super spreader. Do they make a hokey pokey for that? Oh, just kidding. Berkeley, I tend to be heavier during the winter months and then lose it more easily in the warmer months, and it's not exercise related. You know what? I think it's ancestrally related. I bet hunter-gatherer man, same thing, that they built up all this fat from eating while it was still warm out so that they got through the winter. Well, it's like bears hibernating during the winter, and they eat while it's still warmer, and then they have all the blubber that they need to survive during the winter months. So it makes sense. Definitely makes sense. So true, good wisdom. I appreciate your insights always, Mark. That's why I'm here, my brother. Always trying to share from my own experiences and encouraging you guys in the process. So thanks for being here. So yes, you guys, day number 70 today of this 100-day stay batical to 50. Just a reminder, I'm turning 50 next month. So that's the purpose of this. I wanted to kickstart being back on a health journey again. Hot and serious is what I'm saying. I've always been on a health journey since I started low carb, but hot and serious, trying to work on myself, body fat percentage wise, muscle, mindset, and those kinds of things. So this has really done the trick. I turned 50 years old on December 27th, so I think it's going to be a great celebration at the end of all this, and I'm really excited I've gotten to share it with you guys. Sharon says, you set the tone for my day. Thank you. I like to be a bright spot to start people's day. I always have felt like I'm an encourager naturally. It's just always been a part of who I am. A lot of that is just appreciation from whence I came. I had a pretty crappy childhood and struggled mightily after I left the house. And ironically, it wasn't until I got my diet right when I was 32 that things started to turn around for me. And I'm glad, because now I feel like I'm a new man, new perspective on life, and I feel like I've found my calling with what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. No greater feeling, you guys. Find your purpose in this world and go do it. You will be so fulfilled. You will stop feeling down on yourself, and by golly, you won't let anything hold you back. No, nothing at all. So I'll remind you, go check out the past videos. If you like what I do here, go look up the hashtag StayBatical50 on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Find all the videos that way, including the demonetized one for hate speech. That still trips me out. Or you can go to my website, livinglavidalowcarb.com/staybatical. They're all listed right there as well. But I'm going to sign off for now, you guys. I'm in the home stretch, about 7 minutes from home on that last hill right now. So I'm going to sign off, and we'll see you guys again real soon. Mark says, don't worry about the hate speech BS special or socialists always trying to control, especially speech. Yes, I know. And I'm still on all these platforms despite that, because this is where people are. And while I'm still able to speak as freely as I can, I will. So no, I don't worry about it. It's just comical to me. All right, I'm gone for real this time, you guys. Bye, everyone.